Charlie Sheen never thought he'd live to see 60. After decades of coups, addiction, scandals, and infamous meltdowns, the idea of hitting this milestone felt impossible. Yet, here he is, calm, sober, and reflective, ready to open up about the darkest corners of his past and what it took to survive. From the tiger blood era that turned him into a walking punchline, to the quiet life he's building now, Sheen says this isn't a comeback, it's a reset. Today, instead of cocaine-fueled benders and tabloid headlines, Sheen spends his mornings on a rowing machine, grabs coffee with friends, and visits his parents in Malibu. 8 years clean, he says his body feels better than most men his age. Aside from a sore shoulder that he jokes he needs Advil for, it's a shocking contrast to the man the world once knew, a man who seemed destined for destruction. But how did Charlie Sheen get here? The story starts long before the chaos. Growing up as the son of legendary actor Martin Sheen, young Charlie spent much of his childhood on movie sets. He and his siblings tagged along during long shoots, including months in the Philippines, while their father filmed Apocalypse Now. By the time Charlie was out of high school, he was ready to follow the family path into Hollywood. A brief role in Ferris Bueller's Day Off gave him a taste of the industry, but it was Platoon and Wall Street that made him a household name. Suddenly, Charlie Sheen wasn't just Martin's son, he was a star in his own right. But with superstardom came the darker side of fame. Booze flowed freely, drugs were everywhere, and Sheen dove in headfirst. He admits the first time he tried crack, he was hooked instantly. Rehab stays became routine, though none seemed to stick. He somehow survived only one overdose and a close call with death, something he still calls a miracle. Even in his wildest parties, Sheen tried to enforce strange rules. Park your judgment at the door, no pain in the bedroom, and no one can die. Looking back, he laughs at how naive those rules were because pain and chaos always followed. The chaos eventually reached its peak in 2011. At the time, Sheen was the highest-paid actor on television, the star of 2.5 Men. Then, almost overnight, it all came crashing down. His erratic behavior got him fired from the show, and soon after he gave that infamous interview where he claimed he had tiger blood and was winning. Fans watched in disbelief as he unraveled on live television, boasting about bizarre philosophies and picking fights with anyone in his path. He now admits it wasn't just the drugs. He had become addicted to a testosterone cream that sent him into a manic state, turning him into what he calls a raving lunatic. For years, Sheen was a walking headline, the poster child for self-destruction in Hollywood. But in 2017, something changed. This time, rehab worked, not because someone forced him, but because he was finally ready. He had reached a breaking point and decided he wanted to be the kind of father his 5 kids could actually rely on. Since then, he hasn't had a single drop of alcohol. His strategy? A mental list of his most shameful memories. Moments so dark that simply recalling them is enough to keep him from pouring another drink. As for drugs, he quit them before the booze, and he insists he'll never touch them again. Whether it's true or not, he likes to think the next hit would kill him. But sobriety didn't magically erase the past. If anything, it forced him to face it head-on. He calls them the shame shivers, sudden flashbacks to the worst decisions of his life, moments that still make his skin crawl. He's apologized to almost everyone he hurt along the way, and to his surprise, most people were quick to forgive. But the hardest part hasn't been making peace with others. It's been forgiving himself. Even today, those shame shivers hit him without warning. Though they're happening less and less, he takes that as a sign of progress. Now, as he marks 60 years, Sheen is stepping back into the spotlight on his own terms. He's releasing his memoir, The Book of Sheen, alongside a 2-part Netflix documentary titled AKA Charlie Sheen. But He insists this isn't about rewriting history or painting himself as a victim. He owns every mistake and every scandal. For him, it's simply about telling the stories as they actually happened, or at least the ones he can still remember. Charlie Sheen doesn't call this a comeback. He calls it a reset. He's not chasing the fame that nearly destroyed him. He's simply taking life one moment at a time, grateful for the second chance he never thought he'd get. And as he reflects on a past filled with excess, chaos, and regret, he leaves us with a reminder. Forgiving others may be easy, but forgiving yourself is the hardest battle of all. If Charlie Sheen can face his demons at 60 and choose peace, maybe the rest of us can find the courage to forgive ourselves too.